something kind of cool just happened. If you see this box right here, it's actually, this thing is like, it's like as big as me. It literally is. I'm excited about it. I wanted to kind of share some accomplishments with you about it. The one thing I think that people don't do often enough is they don't really talk about the struggles, and they don't talk about like the parts that actually got hard. And I know that sometimes people see people on the outside and they think like, oh man, those people just look like they've got everything going on and things are so easy for them. And they don't realize like all the trials and errors of what got them where they were. And that's what I want to talk to you right now about on this video. This is going to be about what all the things that happened on the way to getting where I'm at right now. And some of the things I'm going to talk about are going to be kind of personal. I'm just going to tell you, just know this, like this is a really good, big accomplishment and something that I've been working towards for a very long time. What people don't understand is what happened before all this, right? The stuff that makes this look so easy and so cool is the things that happened on my way to get here. And let me just tell you something, like there has been so many times where I have absolutely failed, like so badly. I mean, made just huge mistakes, really had to look at the way I was leading people, had to look at the way I was running my business, had to look at like, you know, had to make so many different tough choices. And this is cool. So I'm gonna kind of show you this. So this is what we ended up getting, all right? So what I'll do is I'll kind of show you a little bit about it. Now, this right here signifies, this is actually from ClickFunnels. So I have been using ClickFunnels. In fact, 4 years ago, my goal was to be able to start helping people really have the best real estate and lending business that they could have. And at that time, I was doing really, really well in real estate. And, you know, I've sold over 2,300 homes in my career in real estate. And it was going good, although I was absolutely tired. I was so tired. I was working a lot, and my best year in real estate, I sold 169 homes, and that was just with myself, no other licensed agents. It was with a transaction coordinator and an assistant. And so I was working like massively, massively crazy. I had a knife in my hand, massively crazy. But I decided to become a coach. At that time, when I wanted to become a coach, the people that absolutely loved me to death, right? Like my dad, who's one of my favorite people in the world, and my husband, who's my very favorite person in the world, they were like, honey, I don't think that is the best idea. Like normal people that are doing so well in their career at 46 years old, they don't leave their career to go and do something else. Like maybe you shouldn't do it, right? And sometimes people will tell you things that when they think they're helping you because they love you to death and they want to help you and they think they're helping you, but really it's not helping you because they don't know your passion and your drive and your reasons for doing things. So lesson to be learned in that. Be careful sometimes who you take advice from or who you listen to. Sometimes people that have your best interest at heart, they really do mean well. Sometimes they can give you advice that maybe it might not be the best advice. Had I listened to them, I would not be where I'm at today. And I have never in my life been happier. I have a career that I love, I'm doing what I love, and this is just a representation. But this isn't the really cool thing, and I'll show you the really cool thing in a minute. So here's what this is. This right here is an award that once you've generated over $25 million online, you get this award. Now we earned this award since then. We've getting really close to getting another one, right? So let's take a look at this. This right here. This is a 2CCX award from ClickFunnels. And I gotta tell you one thing, that it certainly does pay to pay people to help you learn what you wanna learn. Thanks to Russell Brunson. He was able to help me make more of an impact in 4 years, or actually in a year, than I did in 20 years, all because of Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels. So here's an example. So I will be forever grateful for that. Lesson from that is that anytime you can pay for speed, oh my gosh, you should do it. This thing is so cool. I can't even believe this. The coolest thing ever. You guys ready? But what's gonna be even more cool is when I tell you the story behind it. So here it is. This right here shows that for every one of these, it shows the award of all awards, 25,000 to 50,000 to 100,000, all the way, I'm sorry, 100 million, 100 million in sales. So this is showing that we hit our first 25 million online, and we're very close to getting our second one. My goal is to have gotten 3 of these by the next Funnel Hacking Live and putting out there in the world. That's my goal. But here's what's even more cool about this is this. Here's even cooler, is this right here. This right here is from Success Magazine. I just got this in today. And here's what it says. It says, if you are reading this, congratulations. You have earned a well-deserved spot on the Success 125 award list of most influential leaders to know today. Your powerful contributions have captured the respect and admiration of many and calls for a toast. Here's to you, luminary for the ground-shaking impact you are making in the lives and the world around you. On behalf of the entire Success team, please enjoy this gift as our way to say thank you for exemplifying what it means to be a true leader. So the cool thing about this is that really it led to this. That's the cool thing. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the journey, if that's okay. And this is where some of you might want to turn off, because I'm going to get a little bit real and raw. But here's the deal, is that I have not lived at home since I was 13. And I'm going to tell you this story, and I say this with the most love and admiration for my parents, and my mom especially. We are so very close, and she is the most loyal, loving mother in the world. And she's one of my best friends. But growing up, there was some abuse that was happening in the family. I'm not going to get into my mom's story because it's her story to tell, not mine. And I tell this story, I just started telling it about 2 years ago because it was really, really dear to heart. It's very hard to talk about sometimes. It's getting easier, but I was kind of ashamed and I was embarrassed and I felt bad about talking about this story because of my mom, and I love her so much. I would never want her to think that I was being disloyal to her, but there was some abuse that was happening from my mom to me when I was growing up. And it's because she had a really, really rough and hard childhood. And I'm not going to get into her story, but what happened to her kind of sort of ended up affecting me. And so there was some abuse going on. And so finally when I turned 13, I kind of got tired of it and I left. And so I started running away from home, and I was living on the streets for about a year. I lived in my friends' closets and slept in their closet while their parents were, didn't know I was there. I lived in cars and in RVs, lived in abandoned buildings, and I'd get caught and I'd get taken back home and then I'd run away again. And finally I broke the law. I actually ended up, don't judge me, but I ended up stealing from my 8th grade PE locker. Me and my friend stole all their clothes. When the girls came back from PE, all their clothes were missing, and we stole their lunch money, right? So imagine that, like you're in junior high and you're worried about what you look like, and you come back and you gotta wear your PE clothes all day. So we got caught, and then we got thrown into juvenile hall. So we're at juvenile hall for about 3.5 months, and in juvenile hall I was with a bunch of really bad girls, right? Girls that were in there for doing bad things. This place I didn't belong, and so I stayed there for about 3 months, and then I got shipped off to a group home. The group home was for troubled kids, troubled girls. The girls there had been molested, drugs, prostitution, a lot of runaways, troubled families. And so I stayed there for a year, and then I went back home, and there still was not the resolution that, with my mom at that time. And so very quickly I realized that I couldn't stay there. So I called my probation officer and told him that I couldn't stay there. So this is the hard part to talk about. My dad is probably one of my favorite people in the world, next to my kids and my husband and my mom. But I remember the foster dad coming to pick me up, and he was in a silver Toyota truck, and my dad was crying in the driveway on Concord Boulevard, begging me not to leave. And he was telling me, Krista, we can work through this, like stay, please don't go, like we can figure it out. I knew I couldn't. So I remember all the way on the drive from Concord to Antioch, just bawling in the car and just feeling so lonely and just feeling just horrible. And when I was in the group home, people made fun of us and they kind of chastised us, and we were kind of like the rejected kids. We got dropped off every day in this big huge bus, right, called Hidden Hills Group Home for Girls. There was nothing hidden about it because it was huge and everyone knew. I had it was almost like this big thing on my head that basically said that I'm a screw up, right? So we got made fun of in 9th grade, and people were mean to us. They didn't talk to us. Whoa. And we just kind of felt like losers, if that makes sense. I don't want my award to fall here, so I'll just move it over. So that kind of happened at first when I went into the foster home, right? So, and I missed my family dearly when I was in the foster home. I wanted to be home so bad, but I couldn't. And so I remember crying probably with the first 6 months until finally I met a few girls, and these girls took me in and loved me, and they didn't make me feel uncomfortable or, weird. They just took me in. I ended up being in that group home for my entire remaining high school years. And when I turned 18, after I graduated, my foster parents kicked me out of the house because the money wasn't coming in any longer. And so I had to figure it out on my own. And I ended up getting scholarships, and not very many scholarships, but juvenile hall gave me a scholarship, and they gave me a scholarship, and they said, Krista, one day when you make it big, because we know you're going to, I don't know why they said that, but they probably said that to everybody, but they said, make sure you pay it forward. So I did, right? That's what's created me to have the Pay It Forward scholarship and to do Teens Lifting Lives and to donate a lot of money to charities and to families, both locally and outside of the area, because of that. They handed me the check and said, when you make it big, just make sure you pay it forward, you give back. And that totally stuck to my heart. So, I'm telling you this because with the physical abuse came a learning disability. I couldn't read, and they realized I couldn't read when I was in 2nd grade, so I got put into a special education class, and that made me get completely made fun of when I was younger because we were like the weird kids, they said, right? And I couldn't read, and I went to bed until I was 10. Again, another sign of the abuse. And so I was kind of like this weird kid that, had no money, I felt really insecure growing up. I always felt like no one liked me. I was super, super self-conscious. I had the worst anxiety, always like I'm gonna be in trouble. The road was rough, right? And every single penny that I've earned has been from hard work, and I got a lot of student loans to put myself through college, and I did it on my own with very, very hard work and dedication. And then after graduating from college, things got better. I met my husband at the time, and that's a whole other story. But let me tell you, that was really rough. Like, we lost everything, and next thing I know, we bought a new house, and I'm coming home to no money in the bank, and two little girls under the age of 2 and 5, and we just bought a new house. I just left my full-time teaching job to take care of my daughter Kaylee because she was sick, to realize that I was now alone, single mom, and it was hard, very, very hard. So all these trials and tribulations happen, and then I get into real estate, and I do amazing at real estate because I had a great why, which was to keep my daughters safe in their house. So I ended up selling 69 homes my first year and crushing it in real estate because of the why. But nobody knew about all the stuff that was going on. Nobody knew about how I felt like this big, and how I was so sad inside about the family being ripped apart. And looking back, it was the best thing that ever could have happened. And so I stayed single for a long time, and then I met the love of my life, my husband Steve, who will be my forever and always, and did real estate for 16 years, just hardcore, like just go into the ground, top 1% in real estate. And then I got tired, and I got into coaching, and it was the best decision that I've made. But understand this, when COVID hit, we had 6 weeks of money in the bank for my new coaching business, right? 6 weeks. And if I didn't make things happen in the coaching business, I was taking money from my real estate business to pay for my coaching business. I sold one of my daughter's home. My daughter she lived in a house in Antioch. I took her home, I sold her home, used that money, put it in the bank so I could have money to keep my company open. And we just figured it out. We turned, we changed, we tweaked, we modified, we adjusted. And then all of a sudden things just got better, right? Because we didn't quit, we didn't give up. And so it took us about 3 years of coaching, and every money that we made, we put back into coaching. And we took money from real estate and put it into coaching. We sold the houses, put it into coaching to keep the company open. It was hard. It was a lot of sacrifice. It was a lot of scariness. It was a lot of perseverance and pushing, and a lot of screw ups, a lot of mistakes, a lot of freakiness, to be quite frank, and scared times of like, why did I do this? Why didn't I just stay in real estate, right? But I knew that it was my passion. I knew it was my love. I truly feel I have a calling to help people, and to really, really help people with their businesses and their lives and their mindset. Because one thing that I've gotten really, really good at is mindset. And mindset is more important than skill set. All these fancy words that people see, they don't mean anything if you're not happy, right? And you can never get any of these things if you don't have the mindset. And again, remember, you see this and you're like, wow, that seems so cool. But really, the cool part, the really, 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 really cool part is the Success 25. What those kind of things allows. It allows to make an impact. It allows to change lives. It allows to truly, truly be happy. So there's the lessons here, and the lessons are this. Number one is, don't judge a book by its cover. Every single penny and ounce that I've earned has come from hard work. Nothing at all has been handed to me, and it's come along with a lot of mistakes. But successful people, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, the 13 success habits that people have. And one of the things that successful people do is, number one, they surround themselves with like-minded people. They've got award-winning teams around them, like Russell Brunson. He's the one that helped me get this, right? They also have a really strong belief in themselves, and they really, really think about positive things, and they talk positive affirmations, and they visualize things. And all these traits and habits can be learned. So the idea is this: when you see somebody that you think is successful and that has the things that you think that you want, number one is, you don't know what's happening on the back end. Number two is, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Nothing. I spent 16 years of working 100 plus hours a week. Easily, just driving myself into the ground to take care of the girls and to keep a head over ourselves. And I love working, so it was great. I love working. But that 16 years is what's led to this, right? The 16 years is what's led to these. It's the 16 years. It's the 16 years that led to that. It's not all of a sudden. It's sacrificing and trying and making mistakes and taking massive, fast action. So many people are so afraid to make a mistake, or they're always getting ready to do, but they never do, right? They're getting ready, they're aiming, but they never fire. Successful people fire, and they fire forward, and they fail forward. They make a lot of mistakes, but they do them often, so they make more successes. So I hope this was helpful for a lot of reasons. Number one, is when you see somebody, don't assume. Don't assume, because we don't know where they came from. We don't know what they went through. We don't know where they were at all. We just don't know. That's number one. And number two, that anything is possible for anyone. And I believe I could do anything, except for fly. And I know I can't fly, right? But I really believe that I can do anything. And I work on this mindset of mine. If you saw my phone and saw the books that I read, and it's like constantly working on, this is my stop, snap, and switch bracelet, right? This bracelet is when I have these feelings like I'm inadequate or not good enough to be a coach, or why should people listen to me, or who am I stop and recognize that negative thought. I snap the bracelet, I turn that negative thought around and say something positive and restate the negative statement, so I can be really mindful of what I'm saying to myself, what I'm thinking about, and where my brain is at, because mindset is more important than skill set, right? As W. Clemens Stone says, is that delay is the number one enemy of wealth. It's delay. People are afraid, and they're afraid to take action. They're afraid of doing that thing. I was so afraid for a second when I decided to be a coach. And then I thought, nope, not gonna be afraid, I'm going for it. And because of that, we're able now to do more, make more of an impact in 1 month. And that took me, over like 15 years to accomplish, and we would do it in a year. Now we do in a month what we did in a year, and it took me 15 years to get there because we didn't delay, right? But the hard work and the sacrifice from that 16 years prior is what was able to help us be where we're at today. So don't judge people, cheer them on, root them on. You don't know where people are gonna be at. And if the girl that wet her bed until she was 10 and that lived in a group home and a foster home was in juvenile hall, if she can do it, you can do anything you put your mind to. You just gotta not stop. You gotta have belief in yourself. You've got to understand that delay is the enemy of wealth. Fail forward, keep on going for it. Surround yourself with the right people, just like I did. Thank you so much, Russell, for all you've done for me. And that's it. So anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, including you. Thanks so much for watching my video. You can learn more about how to be a successful real estate professional by watching other videos that I have. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always, make it a great home selling and buying day.